I'm Harold Hambros. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at ZENDA. And so our product is an environment that allows you to design and manage business processes like you've never been able to do before. And I'll give you a demonstration here. If I look at this business process, this is actually research and development, a high-level overview. But if I zoom in on this, you'll see that where traditional business processes have typically been simple flows of activity, I now have an environment that tracks to the data assets inside my company. So for every step inside a process, I can track to the human landscape of roles inside my company, the places where work transpires, the tools and equipment, and the regulatory policies that are attributed to this step inside a process. This allows me to, at a process level, start to understand all the dimensionality of the work that transpires inside my company and manage the details that typically exist in the ether of my operation. I've also got the ability inside this environment to track the qualitative nature of the work. So once I've designed a process, I can actually assess my workforce for their satisfaction and their sentiment for performing work at any step inside a process. Within this is a host of unstructured data that I can now scrape for an understanding of task deviation, the use of unsanctioned tools, and frankly, a lack of attention to policy or regulation. Across the product now, I can keep track of all of my resources from the human dimension to tools and equipment, and I can understand how every tool inside my organization has been applied to every activity inside every process. When I'm starting to redesign processes now, I can start to understand what the implications for changing a tool or changing a resource have across my individual processes and across my larger organization. I also have the ability now to create blueprints of the business processes that I'm managing. And so I can take a complex task flow like this, where I've attributed huge amounts of enterprise resources to every activity, and now I can produce a scaled blueprint of how every resource is applied to every activity in a process, from the RACI definition of the workers down to the flow of individual data fields, step by step through a process. So this is allowing us to see and understand the enterprise like we've never been able to see it before, and to touch our workforce activity by activity so that our processes now live and breathe as our organizations operate.